Before I begin sharing my literacy narrative story, I would like to first introduce myself as well as give an overview of my narrative. My name is Emily Hughes, and I was born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am currently a freshman at CCU and am majoring in hospitality management. I was diagnosed with ADHD as a young child and have had to learn how to study, read, write, and test in a different way than most people. I will now go on to tell my literacy narrative. My mom always told me that I was not dumb, but that I just learned a different way from the majority of the kids I knew. Growing up with ADHD was not an easy task, considering most teachers chose to teach their students one way and one way only. Frustration was a common feeling for me, especially in reading and writing classes. I struggled to understand why I could not comprehend the same information and at the same speed as my fellow classmates. There was one instance where in religion class I was taking a test and had difficulty comprehending the question. It involved matching vocabulary words with their definition, and I had to read the questions numerous times in order to understand what it was asking. I remember very vividly becoming anxious and stressed. As a result, my heart rate notably increased, salty sweat dripped down my face, and I began to panic. The once clear stated definitions quickly transformed into blurred lines. To put things in perspective, it took me close to double the amount of time to complete the test compared to my classmates. This episode in particular was a turning point for me in accepting the fact that I was going to continue to struggle academically throughout the rest of my life. Reading and writing is supposed to be a fun experience as well as have the ability to take you to an imaginary place, but for me, it was quite the opposite. On top of having ADHD, I also had to learn how to deal with being a verbal learner. I prefer to learn using words both in speaking and writing. For example, to fully understand a book, I would have to either read the story aloud from the text or have someone read the story to me while following along. Learning disabilities are at times taken too lightly and often overlooked. Luckily for me, my parents were aware of my disabilities at a young age and therefore were able to get me help. Tutors, time accommodations, audiobooks, reading and writing camp were all elements that helped me but did not fix me. Even today, I still struggle in school due to my ADHD. I typically take more time to study, test, read, write, and understand or comprehend information than most of my friends. I could say that ADHD is a curse, but what I have learned from it is beyond anything that I could have ever been taught in school. It has taught me that I do not have to be the smartest, fastest, best reader or writer, but if I put in the effort and set my mind to something, I can achieve my goals.